Ham,
um, yeah,
potato,
um,
potato. I'm disappointed in you.
what is it called? No frills, no chills.
No
I don't know how the
gimmicks. No gimmicks. No spimmicks.
term goes.
You're wearing a Surge shirt, but you're drinking some other green beverage.
Right,
What's up with that?
because because my cat's trying to eat my hair tie.
Oh,
There.
because you don't have a time machine. Do they still make Surge?
Yeah, so when I had my road trip all the way to move to San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
um I actually purchased a bunch of Surge
Ooh.
from Amazon actually.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna drink this to stay up, and I didn't
You
even
crashed. You were
I
dead.
no, I didn't. I mean, I had a panic attack, but no, but not because of the Surge. I didn't even. I think I did actually start drinking some Surge, but then I don't know.
Well,
I
warm
didn't
Surge
in
is
my
like
stomach.
drinking sewage, right?
What?
Warm Surge is
Anyways,
not.
what were you saying about my hair?
Oh, you've got a little red in it. You got a little
So
red in your hair.
speaking of which,
Mm,
that oh, by the way, everyone, spoilers. There will be
spoilers.
spoilers in this episode of the movie What Lies Below. Not What Lies Beneath by blah 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 that came out in the year da 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 da,
Yeah.
but
In
actually
the 90s, I think, right? With Michelle Pfeiffer, I think.
What Lies Below.
What lies
Now,
below.
tell me,
Spoiler, it's a dick.
tell me how you felt. Did you finish it? Did you like turn it off in anger? Well,
So, but
hold on. Before you say
yeah,
anything, even though I
yeah,
asked you the question, before you said anything, what lies below? I would
yes.
like to say it is very much like a lifetime, a
Mm,
lifetime movie, lifetime television for women.
mm.
Very much like that at first, but then all of a sudden it turns into a monster movie.
Well,
Go ahead.
because okay, so Potato gave Sheepdog an assignment, a homework assignment. Watch what lies below. And if I she even said I could turn it off if I wanted to, and
Yeah.
that I could tell her why I didn't like it if I didn't like. Here's the thing: I understand why a cis straight male might not like it. But I don't have a problem. Okay, so I'm a filmmaker. I'm a writer. I don't have a problem going into the subject's point of view, right? And so this is definitely a young girl played by an older woman.
Right. Is it? I mean, I never checked the age, but doesn't it seem that way?
She looks at least 25,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I watched it with Stella, and at the end there's a shot where she's getting wet, and her T-shirt is very, very like on her body. It's like contort, and they hid those tiggle bitties the whole movie. I wasn't the one that pointed it out. Stella went, "Wow, she's got huge." Anyway, so yeah, they tried to make her look, and she did a good job of playing young. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then the male, he's all like supposed to be 35. He looks like he's 45 easily. So they but they were all well cast. So they all
Yeah.
played their parts. You have to suspend your disbelief.
Right.
But
You
it
got to put
is
on those suspenders.
put them on. It's definitely the female gaze, and most people are used to watching movies with the male gaze.
Right.
What's weird is it's written and directed by a man, I think. But and so maybe even it might be a male gaze of what a female gaze might look like. I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't have a female gaze in general, but there's a lot of like close-ups of the dude's speedos and like shaved abs and
Chesticles.
yeah, what lies below.
The
Um,
belt.
so I can see a lot of people like being turned off by that. I don't actually have a problem with it. It doesn't do anything for me, but there's a lot of things in movies that don't do anything for me. It's not supposed to. That's not why you watch a movie. You watch a movie so you can escape into the subject's point of view. A lot of people only watch movies that have like attractive people in it and stuff. I'm not like that. I want to watch a great story Was it a great story? That's the question. So why don't you tell the people at home what the story is, Potato? Give us a
spoilers
synopsis.
and all.
Yeah.
All right, so it's this girl,
Hmm.
and then she's like,
Very shy.
I'm in uh camp. Was she at camp?
She was at camp.
She was at camp. She was like, I'm a teenage girl and I went to camp, and now I'm gonna get picked up by my mom, Mina, who is, you may know her from Loser and
American Beauty.
American Beauty. Wait, American Beauty? Was she in American?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was her.
Wait, I think she was also in I think she had a smaller part in American Pie as
American
well.
Pie. That's the one I thought you were about to say. Yeah, she's American Pie. Or was it American Pie? She wasn't American Pie, but she was in American Pie. So, I mean, so was Jason Biggs, but
she could have played that pie.
So anyway, she's like, I'm a teenager, angst. Not Mina. Mina is the mom who is like this super hip mom. She's a cool mom, you know, single mother. And then she's like, I have a boyfriend. And he's young. And so then the daughter doesn't really care much about like dressing up or anything. And then she sees this hunka, which I personally did not think was very handsome, but whatever.
I can Superman, like an older Superman.
Yeah, I can see where it would be considered attractive. Like, I understand that. I personally was like, and so she ends up, you see that there's like a little bit, I guess, of a crush there, but not really. It's really weird because it kind of flips between the two. It goes from her being like, I kind of like him. She like dresses up for him that very first night. She puts on a fancy dress, and the mom
wants to see him bang her mom. She like creeps down the hallway.
Right. So it's so weird because at times, you know, she does give off this. This is why I thought that you might turn it off, because it's a movie. It's not terrible, but it's also not that great. It definitely has a lot of faults. Like the fact that I was like, okay, wait, does he like her? Oh yeah. And I guess it could. He's way
into her.
It could be kind of realistic. Well, I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But he winks at her and he touches her.
In the way where teenagers are like, do I actually have a crush on this person or do I not? You know, it's like, and so she kind of goes between the two, and eventually they go. So her mom's boyfriend is really weird. He's allergic to salt. He loves water. He's like obsessed with water. Also he's a scientist. He definitely likes water critters.
Says he's trying to help them evolve from fresh water to be able to adapt to salt water, because there's going to be so much salt water in the future.
Like he wants to bring in these creatures into the world that can adapt very easily to, or I guess adapted creatures. Anyway, he wants stuff. I'm really bad with words today, as most days. So then they end up kind of getting to know each other a little bit more, and then, you know,
her mom may or may not be sick.
Oh yeah, then the mom has like whatever it's called, morning sickness. She's not feeling very good. So she has morning sickness. So we all like, I already assumed. I'm like, oh, she's pregnant. Watch. And then later it's like, oh, I took a birth control test. What is it called? Pregnancy test.
The Prego test.
I don't do those things, so that's like I don't know what they are.
It's awesome. You get to pee on a stick. It's amazing. I do it all the time.
Oh yeah, for fun.
Mm-hmm. For fun. Yeah. Oh yeah. I just want to check my pH balance.
So they decide, so the girl, she gets a little bit of alone time to get used to what potentially might be her stepdad. Um and
And what does he do?
so
Show me on the doll.
so there, it was so fucking weird because first does the eel jump in, or was there an eel
So
already
confused,
in
too.
there?
Stella was confused. We were all confused what was
Yeah.
happening in that.
But basically, all of a sudden, he sees that she's bleeding, and it is bleeding from maybe her leg. No, it's her vagina. Her vagina's bleeding. And so he goes to shove a thing there. He shoves his shirt right in there. He just goes like with the strength of, the speed of, Neo. He just
And there's a great line too, because she says he grabbed me like Donald Trump.
Oh yeah. Yeah, which I don't, because he didn't really grab her. He just shoved his fingers with
plotted.
the shirt into, he was like, oh no, leak in the boat. Bam. and she's just like, oh, what the fuck? I mean, as anyone would if someone just shoved their shirt into your vagina. Like, just, what are you doing? And then he has a little bit of blood on him, and he licks it off. He's like, no, it's not weird. Look. And he licks it off. Like, no, you made it so much more weird.
So much worse. Yeah. Yeah.
Like as if licking it made it okay. I don't know. I think maybe in his mind he was like, no, look, it's fine. Your blood isn't gross. Look, it's just blood. Like, no, you don't lick any kind of blood.
It's just your menses. Yeah.
So yeah, he quickly, like, whatever, they get to the house. Now this is
and that's when he says, you have a little red in your hair.
Where so about that, I'm gonna give this spoiler thing out, whatever, is that her mom used to have red hair, and she has red hair. So that you need to know for later. So anyway,
I didn't get that.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I thought that's what I mean, I know that you were saying the line, but I thought, okay, well, I'll tell you that in a second. So he, they get into the house, and this is where it is very strongly, what is it called? Lifetime television for women, where she's taking a shower, and he sneaks into the bathroom. Like, he pretends he leaves, but he really just, like, quietly is there, and it's just the weirdest,
he's all
most
sniffing.
awkward scene. I wish they had just, I mean, I get why they needed the scene, but at the same time, I wish it had not been as awkward, because he's just like breathing in her senses on the other side of the shower curtain, just like and how could she not hear that? I can hear if someone's in the bathroom with me. Like, I can hear if the cats are walking around in there. How do you not know that there's this grown man on the other groaning man on the other side of the shower fucking curtain?
And that scene really disturbed Stella, because she was washing her face with bar soap, which evidently is not a good thing to do.
Oh yeah, that's gross. Because that shit gets, if people are like rubbing their body with it and rubbing their butthole, and then you put that soap on your face.
Crevice soap.
Yeah. So, that scene. Oh, and then he grabs his shirt and leaves. Now, I don't know why she doesn't notice,
with the blood on it.
Right. I don't know how she doesn't notice, because he told her just throw it away.
Yeah.
But then she like left it when she ran into the bathroom and got undressed. She just left it there, like on the sink or whatever. And he just grabs it. She doesn't think like, hey, I put the t-shirt right there. Where did it go? But I guess once again, we're supposed to be wearing those suspenders and just assume like maybe everything's just been too much, that she just kind of like forgot.
And he keeps like sucking his sweat out of his shirt after he goes on runs and stuff too.
Oh, that was another thing. Yeah. He like he goes running all the time. So he takes off his shirt and he like twists it and like drinks the sweat out of it as it drips into his mouth, and just, oh my, so gross.
He's eccentric.
Yeah, at some point she her mom is not feeling good and tells her, hey, daughter of mine, please go to the store and get
Pregnancy test.
And she sees him there. The thing is, it looks like him, but
wearing glasses.
He's wearing glasses, but he doesn't react to her at all. He just looks at her and then just keeps going. So that's kind of weird. And then you start noticing that, like,
he's there with a woman too, and he's grabbing the redhead woman's
and
butt.
It's a redheaded woman.
Grabbing her butt right in front of her.
So yeah, I'm just kind of like fast forwarding through there. I'm like throwing in a bunch of it just to be done with it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
That basically, yeah, he eventually, they get back, and oh shit, what happened after that? I totally forget.
So she's awakened in the middle of the night by a bright light.
Was she? I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And well, I mean, I guess, yeah. So she goes out, but they never explain what that was.
They do. Actually, that's something I caught.
Okay, well, what? Go ahead.
So it's a bright light in the water, and he walks out into it, and then just goes under the water and never comes back up, right? He comes back up.
No, he comes back up and he does that dog shake.
Yeah, he shakes like a dog, and then he's like, "I'm dry. I think you're sleepwalking. I sleepwalk." Yeah. And her mom's like, "Don't tell him that I'm 42," which he clearly looks 45. And she's like, "Oh, how old are you?" And he's like, "I'm 35." And she's like, "Oh no, I can't tell him."
And he was so mad when he found out how old she was.
Yeah, because then he can't have a bunch of babies with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And her mom's like super clingy now, and like Worm Tongue and the King kind of thing.
Wait, but you were going to tell me what the light was.
Oh, well, that's at the end. It's revealed toward the end, so I figured we could get there.
Okay. Well, yeah. So he does the dog shake, and he's like, "What? I'm dry. No, I sleepwalk." And she's like, "I clearly saw you go into this fucking lake." What? So she invites her friend over. Her friend, by the way, now I'm forgetting. Her friend was like,
she's like, "He's a freak of nature. Come over." And her phone won't work, so she's chatting with her.
She tells the mom, like, "Hey, your daughter's." Well, no. So did she ever get to tell her?
Yeah, she told her he grabbed me like. That's when she says he grabbed me like Donald Trump.
No, I know that, but did the friend
Oh,
ever
yeah.
tell the mom?
She does, but it's a really weird cut. So
yeah, that's what I was.
She's like waiting for her friend, and then she's asleep, and it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Where did my friend go?"
She got put in her bed,
and
she got her pajamas put on. I'm pretty sure she got changed into pajamas.
Yeah.
It's just that the whole thing with the friend, she said she was going to go tell the mom, and she goes upstairs, but I don't know, did she ever get to tell the mom, or
you can hear like her talking, and then she suddenly stops talking. That's all you hear is like upstairs, you know. So I assume that she said, no, she did, because they mentioned later on, she goes, "Why did you tell her that? He apologized."
Oh, okay. Yeah. So she gets killed.
She sure do.
Let's get that out of the way. She gets killed.
To the eels.
Oh, that's right. Her face is all like, bleh, and then the eels. Because turns out this guy, this is where the monster movie comes in. He's actually an eel man.
He's a fish man. Ooh, the shape of water gone awry.
But yeah, I was gonna say, but not the same. I don't know. I'm terrible at this. I can't.
That's all right. So yeah, her mom gives birth to an eel baby. They're trying to. This is where they're.
Does she?
Yeah,
doesn't she lose it?
Yeah, it seems like he was because this is his way of trying to evolve his species, right? Is by having babies with. And I don't know if he's trying to get them to adapt to air. I think that's probably more what he's trying to do. Which they
Well, I think
breathe. So I don't get it. I don't know.
No, I think he's definitely trying to make like hybrid, basically, like he is. But oh, that's what it was. Okay, sorry. Okay, so redheads. It's because there's something. So he's only going after redheads, and you see that at the very
Yeah, I
end.
saw that.
All the women, they're all redheads, and it's because redheads are their genes are different, genetically different. Where I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff that like redheads can do that other people can't.
Well,
And
Mira from Aquaman, right? Or Myrna, whatever her name is. She's a redhead, right? Aquaman found himself a redhead. That's what this is about.
But one of them, I think one of the things too is that he's trying to have babies with people also so they can adapt to salt. Because he can't have salt. And so that's how she figures out how to defeat him, but not really. At some point you see that there's like a bunch of him. Someone was saying like, oh, was that just a time lapse? And it's like, no. There's just a bunch of the same looking person, but it's a bunch of different aliens.
Yeah, she tries to drive away and she stops the car. She's not a driver, so it accidentally goes into the water, and she sees through the headlights that there's a small room underwater. There's like a box underwater, and she's called the police, right? And they're gonna come and find her in the basement. Except, what happens? What happens, Banana?
I don't remember.
Well, she wakes up in the room. So it looks like a basement, but it's the room. And it is like a basement. It has stairs and everything. But then there's a bunch of these guys that come down and break. They're all the same species, right? But the big guy with the glasses, and he's got salt burns all over his face. So you can tell which one he is. Yeah. And they're breaking open the wall, which they have all these women in chambers. They all have red hair.
So are
when
you
see her gazongas?
That room that she was in, was that the room that...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was kind of confusing. So here's my take on the movie. It's not a bad movie.
And it didn't just end like that, though. At the very end, they're all in their own little pods.
Yeah.
And I assume they're going back to whatever planet they're from.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be. I don't know. They didn't really it wasn't super developed. That was kind of my thing about it. It seemed like either they had an underdeveloped script or they cut the crap out of it in the editing room and made certain things not really make a lot of sense. Yeah. It could have been an artistic choice to have her like hanging out waiting for her friend and then waking up in bed. And you're like, well, what happened? But it's just jarring and you don't really understand. And I guess they didn't want you to understand, but you never understand. It's not like you at the end of the movie, you're like, oh, that's why. And also the eel flapping around when she's bleeding in the boat. It's like, what? Okay, what? That's just a bunch of shots.
Yeah, like I still can't remember if it was like, did an eel jump in and then they were like, whoa, or was there already an eel there and they're like, whoa, the eel got loose from its cage or something.
Super unclear. And I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's not a great movie. But I don't think it needed to be. I know you said you felt like it was like a Lifetime movie right off the bat, but it's filmed like a horror movie from jump. All the like crazy angles and everything.
That is what Lifetime
really
does. So
I felt like a horror movie.
It's funny because I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, one of the reasons why so many millennial women and maybe even just I guess they're older millennials. I don't know. The reason why we love our true crime is because we grew up with that. We grew up watching Unsolved Mysteries, watching Lifetime television for women. Like that was, I have to say, I can't just say Lifetime. You need to say the whole thing, Lifetime television for women. Because that's what it was. There was I'm really blanking today. Like my brain is just empty today. There was a movie.
Your COVID shot?
No, it was there was this movie where it's, I mean, I guess just pretty much all of them. They're just always about these women that are either getting stalked and then eventually killed,
Not
or
without my daughter.
yeah, they have a stalker, or they're looking for their children because their children have been kidnapped. So yeah, a daughter, a son, or there's some like dangerous love triangle, or they're always like that. They're always like at least one person is dead in that movie, and that's what we grew up watching. And now we watch stuff like whatever, all the true crime stuff, all the true crime podcasts. The majority of the true crime podcasts that I've seen, I swear, are millennial women that are just like, I'm obsessed with this true crime because they don't say why, but it's probably because they grew up listening to all these. I remember my mom used to let me watch like my nighttime shows were Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, Unsolved Mysteries. It was another show, I think it was something like
Jeopardy was pretty scary.
Beyond the Unknown or something like that. I don't know.
The Outer Limits.
Yeah, and definitely it would be like a show about aliens and UFOs and
oh yeah.
Bigfoot and cryptids. That's why we love cryptids. Millennials love their cryptids. It's because growing up we watched so many of those types of shows. And it's not just that, obviously. There's a lot more that goes to it, but I'm going to say that that's a big portion of it.
Yeah, I mean, for this movie, I think it took on an interesting topic, which is, I think it's natural for a teenager to see somebody that they're sexually attracted to that's an adult and be like, yeah. But the reality of that is horrifying.
Yeah.
The reality of that is a horror story. And that's kind of how it starts. I knew he was a fish man. I picked up on it pretty quick as soon as he basically told the story. And it was interesting because it also plays into that where he says, I'm here to help species evolve quickly, which is kind of gross too. It's like a Matt Gaetz thing to say, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm here to get young ladies cross over, because he, when she creeps down the hall to watch him bang her mom, and then runs away, he comes out butt naked, drinks some water, and stares at her
door. Ugh, gross.
And that's kind of when it crosses the line for her. Even like she's kind of like, ew, that's kind of like the reality of this fantasy is really like not good, So I think that part of it was an interesting exploration. I just don't think it did a great job of. It just turned into you're right. It just turned into a monster movie after a while. And of course, he's a fish guy. He talks weird. He's got a weird way of talking. And Stella goes, I think he's just trying to do an indigenous person's accent really badly. We thought it was an offensive accent at first. Oh, no. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think he's trying to sound like a person. So I got it like right away. He comes out of the water in that Halle Berry James Bond shot with his dong bouncing around, but it's all cold.
Right. No, it was definitely a movie.
Yeah. So if you're into that kind of thing and you don't mind spoilers, it's on Netflix. What Lies Below the Belt.
I think that's the porno version of it.
Oh, yeah. Which is just a couple extra scenes.
The porno version is What Lies Below.
Ooh, What Lays the Blow.
What Lays the Blow. There you go. Sorry, I misread that one on my notes.
Yikes. There's a little red in your hair.
Oh my God. And I mean, I think that's a good
Yeah.